Welcome back everyone to Europa Universalis 4 with a great culture war. Yes, we have a great culture war going on right now. Several battles are being fought. You know that the Franconians are at the center of it. And this is the only war we had going on for the last like 3 years. On one side we have the Franconian, Flemish, Romanians, and the Croatian, the vassals of the Romanians. And on the other, we have the Wallonians being supported by the Gascons, Silesians, and Saxons. This war is relatively one-sided. We're actually able to go, well, maybe a little bit slower, just so we can see maybe a few more of these battles. But 200,000 men, and there's another 70, and then 270 stacks also able and ready to reinforce. That's simply crazy. Now the Gascons, obviously, they would very much like to win this war to get some of their cores back they have lost in an earlier war against the Franconians, but it's very unlikely. Very unlikely that's going to happen. I mean, not only are the defenders, you know, the Saxons, Gascons, and so on and so forth, split apart, but also they are weaker in numbers. So the Wallonians, they're the ones upon whom the war has been declared. They are... well, they're probably going to get annexed. I could imagine they only have 4 provinces. That's basically it. It looks very laggy right now for some reason. Maybe... I'm actually not too sure what's going on right now. But yeah, anyways. So maybe we should... I don't know what we need to do. Maybe we need to zoom in a little bit. Not entirely sure about this. But we see... yeah, we can basically see that this is an absolute dominance. So as I said, I think that it's quite clear the Wallonians are going to get annexed because they've got 4 provinces that have yet to be occupied. I do wonder who's going to take it though. We don't see any claims being fabricated anywhere. So it could very well be that the Flemish gain some of this land. I mean, perhaps these 2 provinces could go to the Flemish, whereas these 2 are going to go to the Franconians. More importantly though, what's going to happen with the other countries that are involved? I mean, the Croatians probably have some claims, or some cores. No, they do not. But I could imagine Romanians want some of this land here, like maybe, yeah, the old Austrian provinces. And I could also imagine that we see the Franconians interested in taking some more of the Czech lands. Like, definitely this little exclave of the Silesians. That needs to go. It simply looks hideous, so I certainly think this has to be taken over. And, yeah. The only cool thing about this war is that we really see a lot of great battles. The Gascons are really trying their best to win this, but every fight we see, it's the defenders outnumbered 2-1 at least. So they don't ever really have a chance even at doing anything. They're immediately just getting pounded. And even more and more troops are being sent in to reinforce. This is really one of the most beneficial alliances that we have seen in this series, the Franconians and Romanians together siding against their enemies. That really was beneficial, mostly to the Franconians. I think they have really, ever since they signed this alliance with the Romanians, they have very much doubled their country, especially in the west, their development, their countryside. That was really impressive. As for the Romanians, I don't know. I mean, I think for them it wasn't as beneficial because they were kind of blocked off from expansion. They can't go this route because the Turks and Syrians are kind of blocking them off. They could have gone, you know, in this direction, but I think here, I don't know, the Piedmontese maybe were annoying, or I think it's just that the Occitans are the great power. They have 2,000 development on their own, obviously can field a lot of troops. They didn't feel like going there. And then the Romanians, you know, they blocked themselves off with alliances to the north and south. So they couldn't really expand much, whereas the Franconians, they had the entirety of the west and also the east to go. So I think they can really take a lot more provinces here. Perhaps they're even going to take all of Silesia. Do bear in mind that... I was a antivirus scan, there we go. Do bear in mind that in this stage of the game, you know, the last 40 years, a lot of provinces can be taken over in a peace deal. You can really take, like we saw with Crimea, they took some 20 provinces in just a single war. And that's quite easily possible for every nation here. So this is very likely that we see this here as well. And it looks like the Gascons, for a moment I thought the Gascons peaced out, but apparently, no, they're still fighting. They even won a battle. Look at that. they might even win a second one over here. Okay, so if you're not being careful, the Gascons could come back. But I think now the Franconians, I don't know, they're reinforcing, but I think, oh, they made it in time. All right, so yeah, now you can see the death stacks kind of approaching. But good job on the Gascons, kind of deterring and buying time for their allies. But yeah, it's inevitable. We see the Wallonians, their last province is about to fall. Silesia has occupied, have lost their capital, and now the Saxons, they won't be able to stand against this onslaught for much longer either. So yeah, this is this war that we had got going on. Anything else? Egyptian Sudanese imperialist war. Now Sunda is quite literally a one province minor, a country that has spawned over the course of the game. Not too important, but this could maybe be interesting. The Crimeans are very, very aggressive in this last, portion of this series here, and they are once again using their allies Syria and Turkey to their advantage to go after the Albanians and the Sami at the same time. This is interesting. So the Crimeans are using this opportunity, taking probably a lot of provinces from the Sami, although we don't know. A lot of the Cossacks have risen up. They don't have claims, as I said. Yeah, that's kind of seems to be not too trendy to go for claims anymore. People just declare wars without anything. They just go for it. But yeah, as I said, at this point, with so much administrative efficiency, it doesn't matter. You can simply declare wars and you'll be fine. So it's possible that they will take a lot of Sami lands. And I also do hope that they will kind of clean up the borders they have here with Albania. Especially like these couple provinces need to be taken over just to make it a little bit nicer. And then, yeah, I don't know what they're going to take here in the south. It could also be that maybe the Syrians are going to get Moghestan. They have managed to take Hormuz from the Egyptians in some earlier war. And I actually don't know for how long they're controlling this. But so they definitely want to have Moghestan, so they have, a land access to this island here, which I know sounds stupid if you think about it. Land access to an island, but you know what I mean, right? Via the Strait crossing, they want to have access there. So yeah, it's possible the Syrians get some land, but as we know, the Crimeans, they're mostly very greedy people, and they want all of these lands for themselves. So we'll see. I'm kind of pumped to see what kind of peace deal we'll find. We have seen a peace deal here. The Wallonians are still around. They have been reduced to a single province, one province minor. Nothing has been given to Franconia's allies. Wow. So they certainly decreased them. They took 2 provinces from the Saxons, 3 from the Wallonians, and they took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the Silesians, and are growing very much in power. Now we also, the Finnish, they did help this province. So yeah, the Silesians, they just look so pitiful. Look at this. A province here, another province here, then 2 down here and 2 over there. This is it's just sad to see. It's really sad to see. Also, Albania obviously still holds some lands here. Their starting location, I think, was in Durrës. Or was it in Florida? I'm actually not entirely sure why I started them off, or which province I started them off with. I think it might have even been the mountain province here. That could have been it. Either way, it doesn't matter. They still have lands here, and they didn't have to give them up. But Crimea did exactly what I wanted them to do. They did clean up their borders here to make a much nicer Caucasus, and then they took whatever they wanted here from Albania. Wow. And they did give some lands to the Syrians as well. So it's only, 2 provinces, but that's, I think, all they really wanted, just so that they really can walk over to that island. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 provinces, and then obviously some 4 more. So that's another 14 province peace deal, plus the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 provinces they took from the Sami. So Crimea is really going for it. They're going for it. They want to win this, and they're now rank number 3. If they manage to, have another 2 of these peace deals, they could actually kick the Occitans from the throne. They rose so quickly in rank. I mean, in the last I think 2 episodes ago, they were not even considered a great power, and now the third biggest in the world. This is insane. I'm actually very surprised. So they kicked out the Normans out of the Great Power rank, and we also have the Franconians. And who did they remove? Who did they remove from the rank of... Oh, I think the Franconians kicked out the Normans, I guess, yeah, because the Crimeans only rose in ranks. Okay, so I suppose that makes sense. Franconia is now considered a great power. I've been really wondering for, when that is going to happen, because, they seem so powerful. They look so incredibly powerful, but we've never really seen them pop up in the great power lists. Also, big news I just saw, the Danes have either integrated or inherited their personal union of the Highlanders. So now they not only control most of Scandinavia, but they also have some 50,000 men and a foothold here in the Northern Highlands, which I think is really cool. Alright, so that does not put them into the Great Power list, though. Yeah, they're probably... Yeah, I mean, the Danes have been very lucky with their personal unions, but they have hardly conquered anything. I mean, they could spend their time, taking on the Flemish, although... they're allied to the Franconians, so that's certainly not going to happen. But they could just fight the Finns all the time. They're only allied to the Saxons. The Danish, you know what? If they were to declare war now, maybe call in some of their allies, if they have anyone. Yeah, they've got the Leonese, they've got the Prussians. They could easily finish off the entire Finnish lands. They could even take over all of Saxony down here in the south. And they could grow significantly in strength. But they're just content with whatever they have left. So, we're not going to see much there. We do see another war between the Serbs and, well, I think it was another war between the Greeks and Ruthenians, and it's already over. Wow. Greeks going for another land grab here, take another 5 provinces, and the Muscovites got some 2 provinces out of that as well, and we are left with no wars for now. So let's quickly check this out. Still, that's not enough for the Muscovites to raise in rank, but they at least, keep in their 7th place here. The Normans are back on the Great Power list, though, so I'm not really sure what they did. Maybe they developed some more lands? We know that they really love to do that. At this point, there's not really much left to colonize, so they either just develop their lands, or they must have won some kind of war. And ooh, this is big. The Danish are at war with the Finns, but also the Muscovites seem to be somehow involved in this. So the Muscovites declared a war to purge the Estonian heresy, and the Danish came to the Estonian aid. Ooh, this could be your downfall. This could be your downfall. And the Danish Saxon Imperial. So the Danes did exactly what I wanted them to do. They declared that war on the Saxons, bringing in the Finns and also the Serbians, although they don't really matter all that much. They called in the Prussians here, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, now they have to face off against that huge Muscovite horde, and I don't think they're ready for this. Now, they do have 100,000 men, but do bear in mind, they are also fighting the Saxons down here, so it's really not looking too good for them. And if they don't reinforce this in time, nope, they got defeated. They got defeated there. So yeah, that is, wow, that is quite powerful. Now, Muscovy does technically border the Danes here. They could end up taking lands, although I honestly think that would be really, really ugly. That would be really fucking ugly. And also the Prussians are actually suffering here. Yeah, they're being overrun by Serbs. Their lands are occupied by Finnish and Saxons at the same time. The Prussians, who have for such a long time, managed to at least stay independent and stick around, they could get eliminated here at the end of this series. They might not even make it into the next century. That'd be very sad. That'd be very sad. And wow, a huge pitched battle here, south of the Saxon capital, which has already fallen to the Danes. But that's, yeah, all of the battles seem to be going in favor of the Muscovites here. Yeah, and they just have so many men they can send to reinforce, now laying siege to Berlin and some other fortifications here. Yeah, so we'll see a pattern here. Prussia probably will see a piece here. It could be. The Finns do have claims, and they have some cores as well. Now all of Estonia is actually occupied, so Estonia could get annexed by the Muscovites. That's very possible. They declared this war, obviously, and they might take some lands from the Danish. Although, perhaps they're being left alone as well. We shall see. I'm really pumped to see what's going to come out of that war. That would be an interesting peace deal to me. Yeah, certainly. I mean, maybe we see the Crimeans use this opportunity to attack the Muscovites while they're distracted in the west. Possible, but probably unlikely. A lot of people are being sent to the north here. We see some more battles here. The Saxons cannot hold against the Danish forces, but they're also not quite willing to peace out yet. So it's going to be a question: who's gonna surrender first? The Estonians, the Prussians, the Saxons even? Oh, that's possible. Where's the Finnish capital? Is that still here? Don't remember where they had... Oh, that is their capital. So the Finnish capital has fallen. The Saxon capital fell. The Prussian capital fell. And the Estonian capital has fallen. So it's basically just the big guys, the Muscovites and the Danes, who field some 200,000 men. That's a single stack. That's a single stack of 200,000 men running around right here. Wow. So it's basically those two giants duking out at this moment, and that is very impressive. We did see a peace deal here. Wow. So with that, the Danes managed to connect their Dutch holdings with their mainland. They took only 3 provinces from the Saxons, but that's enough, and it looks really nice. Now, I still wish that they would just kind of, maybe get rid of these Flemish provinces. It would just look so much better. But also it seems as if they have, they have taken Stockholm, Åland, and these other provinces that the Finns had in Sweden. Very nice. Very nicely done. And now all they got to do is protect against the Muscovites. One thing though, we see the Prussians had to suffer. The Prussians actually had to give up a province, 35 development province farmland, to the Finns. So they certainly lost here. But that was not their capital. The Prussians really very much developed their lands here. That is truly impressive. Well, so we see a peace. Estonia is apparently still independent, and we now have a different war going on. So the Muscovites have been repelled. All right, good move from the Danish. They have actually now maneuvered themselves in front of both the Franconians and the Normans at great power rank 8, and they've kind of stopped the further Muscovite aggression. Other than that, let's quickly leave off this episode here with a few more wars. The Franconian-Serbian imperialist war. Franconia apparently does border Serbia, and they're going after this as well. So a lot of very ambitious countries still trying to get these last-minute development increases here, and they're fighting also Saxony. Saxony, really poor choice of allies right there. They are just they're just being dragged into so many wars that they can't possibly hope to win. Other than that, we have the Crimean war against the Egyptians. So yeah, Crimea really want that top spot. They really want that top spot, and I would have never guessed. I would have never guessed they even have a chance at beating the Occitans here, because they're at 3,000 development. But here's the thing: this 1,000 development, it's a lot. It's a lot to take, but they can easily get like 200 development in a single war, because that's 20 provinces. 20 provinces of at least 11 development. They have done that before, so it's very much possible. And they still got, they still got some 20 years left. So if we see a few more of these peace deals, Crimea could become the number one. They could become the number one, but we shall see. So if they manage to grab a lot more provinces here in Egyptian India, but what the hell is going on? They're engulfed in a huge war. Wow, what is going on? The Second English-Syrian imperialist war. This is truly big. So we have England siding with the Normans and the Irish and the Occitans. and the Portuguese as well as the Ryazanians against the Syrian, Moroccan, Turkish, and Crimean alliance. Obviously, some of these people are also involved in Egypt and Sami, and then we have that war going on in Central Europe. So let's quickly check out what this war is all about. Okay, so from the Moroccan perspective, it doesn't look as bad. It doesn't actually look as bad. Why are the Muscovites in this? They're allied to Crimea, right? So they're helping them fight the Sami. Okay. Now, from the Crimean perspective, this looks pretty bad because, you know, of this huge red region here. But I think this is very much winnable. Let me quickly check out this war from the Crimean perspective. Both wars, actually. So they have 1 million infantry. Wow, that is quite insane. So yeah, they obviously certainly have that in their favor. As for this war, well, it's 1 million infantry, actually close to 2 million. Wow, the English certainly have a lot more troops, but we should bear in mind that most of these troops actually are from the Americas, and it's very unlikely that these troops are going to get sent over. So I do think, even though they have like 800,000 more men just in infantry, and they have 150,000 more cavalry and some 300,000 more cannons, it's still possible that the Syrians are going to win this. Simple because their capital's gonna, you know, they're gonna be able to defend their capital, and also because the colonies are probably not gonna send all of their troops, if they send any troops at all. But this is gonna be an interesting war to check out. For this episode, though, we'll have to end here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll be back next time, probably with this last war, concluding the series, and then we'll have a final video afterwards, just kind of going over the map modes and stuff. So, but yeah, once again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.